What's good, champions, and welcome back to another video. For today's video, guys, I will share with you a simple market outlook on one of the most traded currency pair, which is euro dollar. Again, I will walk you through the process on how I look for opportunities, may it be swing trade, day trade, or scalping. Simple terms, we will try to look for opportunities long term or short term. Again, we will only trade what the market is offering us based on our TFP wire system approach. Okay, so this system is just a basic approach. So again, thank you so much to all my TFP VIP champion students all over the globe, subscribers, followers, and to all of my supporters. Right? So without further ado, let's get straight to our charts. Alright, so again, what do we have here? We are on euro dollar, one of the most traded pair, one of the most traded currency pair. So again, first things first, what we want to do is simply know our market structure, trends, this and that before we dive into key leveling and confirmation entries, right? So we try to look for opportunities as a swing on a long-term perspective. So kaya titingnan muna natin siya saan? Sa bigger picture. So I am currently on a daily time frame to look for what is the market is doing currently on this given structure. Okay, so if I were to group the market structure, we have here a bullish market. Again, when we have a bullish market, we must take note of the higher low. So this is the higher low, which the current price is reacting. So ibig sabihin yan, this is a significant level for this analysis. Okay, so hanggat hindi pa nababasag tong higher low na to, we cannot say the market is really going down. So on the other hand, we still have our higher high. So which means, okay, we are confined in this box. So what we can do is simply look for opportunities within this area. Okay, the only time we will look for a long-term perspective of buy and sell is simply if the market broke through this higher low level, okay, or the market broke to this higher high level. That's the only time we can say the market is really trending again. So, okay, so we have here our market structure bullish group, and then the market have this weakness, hence nagkaroon siya ng mga lower highs, di ba? So simply this is a mini downtrend, okay, holding this area of higher low. Okay, so ngayon, what we can do is simply look for opportunities. We all know that the market is now on a bigger consolidation phase. So we know that on a bigger perspective, right? So what we can do is add our confluences, which is our key leveling of support and resistance, as well as our trend lines. Okay, so our support and resistance level simply is around this level. Okay, it's our support, considering we have here multiple reactions. So there is no really exact area or points ng support and resistance dahil it is simply a range. Okay? On the other hand, our resistance is nandito. Okay? Trend lines, quite obvious, is we must connect at least 2 points. Okay? And our trend line resistance, since we also have 2 points at least, diba? We have here an area of trend line resistance. So I'm just going to connect my support level just to visualize where am I at the current market structure. Okay? So what I can do now is simply, kung makikita nyo, is this significant? Is this break significant? Breaking this trend line support or this horizontal support? What we can do is simply look slightly a higher time frame. For example, I'm on a daily time frame. I would just like to verify if this is really significant dito on a higher time frame, which is weekly. Okay? So if you can see, the market from this weekly perspective, those candles na nakikita natin on that daily time frame is simply a pin bar dito sa ating weekly time frame. So ibig sabihin, that is not a valid break as of now, since meron nga tayong buying pressure candle. Okay, so going back sa ating daily, okay, simply, what I can do is simply update my trend line from that point. Okay, initially our point was here, so I can just use this point as anchor dun sa aking trend line just to update yung aking confluences. Okay, so I can use that to update. Why do I need to update? Again, that is just a false breakout doon sa ating that is just a false breakout dito sa ating time frame. So if you can see, the market is now settling around this trend line support. Okay, so which means the area of opportunities lies only around this area or around this area. Okay, the only time na pwede kang magkaroon ng long-term trading na short at long-term trade na long is simply if you're going to break around these levels and around this level. Again, that is our convincing long-term perspective ng swing for what? Short and long position. Dahil, again, based on our system, di ba, we must be, kung selling, di ba, we must be below confluences such as below ng trend line resistance, below ng counter trend line support, at below ng horizontal supports, which means our area for selling on a long term is around this level. Okay, this is our selling perspective. For long position naman, okay, for long position, we must be what? Must be above these key levels such as horizontal support, okay, counter trend line resistance, and horizontal support. Take note, probably if you're going to trade that, take note of this higher high, okay, as also is simple key target kapag kayo ay nag-long position. So our long position will be around this level, okay, on a long-term perspective. But then again, ano yung pinapakita ng market? Our area of opportunity is around this area. Okay, since nasa daily tayo, we still have room for opportunities on a lower time frame. Okay, so just to remove all of these lines. Okay, so our long-term perspective for long is around this area. Okay, so now what we're going to focus is around this area for our trading opportunity. Okay, so market-wise, we can see a mini downtrend here, diba? And a simple double bottom, which is acting as support level. Okay, what we can do is simply check our previous day highs and lows if that really matters dun sa ating area of opportunity. So our previous candle highs and low is dito. Okay, so I'll use that as an anchor point for my mini support and mini resistance. Okay, take note, okay, this is on a daily time frame, so meaning we will have an opportunity or not depending on what the market is offering us. Again, we don't want to trade impulsively just because for the sake of having a trade. Okay, tandaan niyo yan, we don't force any trade. If you're going to see as well, okay, this previous candle high is aligned with the support level on the previous structure. Dahil makita nyo, nagkaroon ng reactions. So this is significant from the past. So I can use that, okay, just to know that this is my resistance level. Okay, so which means if I want to trade a long opportunity, okay, from this space, I must be above this level, okay, and possible I take profit around this level. Bakit? Take note, I must be above horizontal support and trend line support. So this is a good opportunity for me to buy later on. Okay, take note, we are mapping out areas of probabilities and possibilities. We don't trade right away, but still we must need to follow our confirmation rules pagdating sa execution. Okay, so just to give you the idea, where am I going to trade? Okay, on the other hand, mapansin mo, this previous candle that would act as my support, okay, is if magkaroon ng break of this trend line support around this area, okay, and I must be below this trend line resistance, or I must be below this horizontal resistance, my selling area for a possible trade going here is simply in this area. Okay, diba? Nakita nyo, it's just the opposite. We're just mapping out where the market would go in terms of key levels. Okay? So again, I do have an area of opportunity, okay, around this level, okay, possibly up until here, and a long position up until here. So again, hindi pa natin pwedeng confirm yan, but we are just mapping out. At least meron tayong idea where we at the bigger picture and where we at the current market structure in terms of a daily time frame or in a higher time frame. Okay? So what I can do is, I already know where is my boundary, my limitations when it comes to opportunity, because nandito lang ako. We are in between these levels. So the only time na I can still look for opportunities is pag nagpunta siya sa mga HPT zones ko, which is here, here, and possibly around this level, another level for take profit around this area. Okay? So that is the trade idea. So I will now go down to 4 hours to look more structure if ever I can find day trading opportunities. Okay? Pupunta ako ng 4 hours. Okay? So, what do we see here? Okay? So, makita nyo, di ba? Right? Diba? Looks familiar when it comes to setup. If I want to buy as a day trade or possibly swing the market on a mini swing opportunity, okay, is I want to break this structure, okay, as a buy, okay, as a long opportunity, right? Again, this area for me is a non-HPT zone. This is a gray area. Bakit? Market is having a lot of counter trend lines, support, resistance. So we don't want to trade where you are in between these levels. We want to have that free space for the market to go and move. Okay, we don't want to market go up, go down, go up, go down. So market is this is simply a gray area for me. Okay, so take note. This is a non-HPT area. Okay, but I will show you how you can still look for opportunities na mas maganda. Okay. Right? So this is a non-HPT zone, but take note, again, we still have a lot of space here. Diba? So ibig sabihin yan, our areas for opportunity, again, for buying, kailangan I must be above trend line support, horizontal support, and counter trend line break of this resistance. So ibig sabihin, I want the market to break through of this, do a pullback or correction, and take a long trade for a possible take profit where? Around this area. Okay? That's the long opportunity. For short opportunity, we have possible areas like, for example, here. Okay? If the market settled and correct around this level, I can have a take profit going down, and if it continues to break this level, then another take profit too. Okay? So, on the other hand, diba, I can still also look for opportunities around this area for a buy. See the multiple opportunities the market offers. Why? If the market broke through this level and settled down here, I'm still at support level. And I already have broken this counter trend resistance. So, this is a good buying area hanggang saan lang? Up until here. Before you can sell the market here, up until here. So again, you have multiple options for trade opportunities. We are just mapping out the areas where we want to trade based on our confluences. Okay? So again, for a day trading opportunity or a mini swing, okay, what I want is the market to break to this level as a buy, okay, and must be above here. Okay? For selling, again, we have two options. Right here and another here for this area. Okay? So, how about scalping opportunity? Again, for scalp, you only have this area. Okay? Around this area. Okay? So, ibig sabihin nan, I will go down to a much lower time frame, plotting out my previous 4-hour. Diba? Where is my previous 4 hours? 4-hour highs and lows. Diba? Around this level. This is my previous 4-hour highs and lows. And then, my high will be around this level. So, your area of opportunity is confined within this range. Okay? You want to break out of this area and look sa 1 hour how we can find opportunities. So, again, this, we will now go down sa 1 hour time frame. Right? Is there any significance dito sa 1 hour for you to trade a short-term opportunity? Okay? Tandaan nyo, you are squeezed in between. You don't want to be trading alongside with this area. Okay? What we want is a clear level of trading opportunity. So, the market is in a consolidation phase as of now. Okay? We're going to plot your opportunity, no? As a scalp, okay? Your 1 hour level, this is your 4-hour, what? This is your 4-hour previous highs and lows. So, again, if I want to take a long opportunity, okay, a long opportunity as a scalp, I want to break through this consolidation. I don't want to be trading in this consolidation. So, what you can do is wait for the market to break out this level, okay, and your buying opportunity would be around this area, take profit here. This is your range for a long position. Why? Okay, take note, don't be confused sa mga trend lines and lines. We're just guiding you through saan yung mga area of opportunities. So, this is your area for long position as a scalp. Again, 5 minutes time frame. Okay, for a short term, again for a short opportunity, okay, what you can do is simply, I don't have to trade in any of this area. Okay, the only time I can look for opportunity as a sell is around where? Okay, around this area. Okay, you must be below kasi if you're going to trade here, very small space, diba? So, but if you're going to trade here, you still have enough space para makapag-scalp around this level. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yan, our trading area for a short-term sell is around this area. Okay? So, you see, we are just plotting out saan ako magte-trade, long-term, short-term opportunities, day trade, and scalping. Okay? So, I have to be patient enough na mag-materialize yung trade based on where the location is. Not because I want to trade now or bukas. So, ang importante dito is I would need to satisfy my system rules before I dive into confirmations and executions. Okay? So, for me, a long opportunity must be above this horizontal. You must break through this trend line resistance coming from 4 hours, and you must be above this, but the same process. So my trading opportunity for scalp is around this area, and I will just take profit around this area. Very short-term trade. Okay? For selling, again, sabi ko nga, I don't want to trade in this small space, but rather trade ang area of opportunity na meron pang igagalaw yung market. So around this area. So again, I want to break through this level, okay, and sell this up until I take profit for short term. Again, on a 5-minute time frame. What happens if the market consolidates in this gray area? Then simply, I don't want to trade anything, right? So again, you must know all your trading rules and conditions before you can take a long-term opportunity, or before you can take any kind of trade opportunity. Okay? So this is just showing you where am I at the bigger picture, diba? Coming from a long-term perspective, these areas as a swing, long-term, okay, probably hold the positions for several days or weeks, and diving into a much lower time frame, providing these areas of opportunity as a buy, okay, as a short, okay, possibly continue until here, and a scalping opportunity going down deeper around these areas. Okay? So you want to stay away from those areas na wala na kayo halos gagalawan. That is why I am plotting out saan ako pwedeng mag-trade. O kasi for long, I must be here. Okay, for short, I must be here. That is my area of opportunity. Around this level, I don't want to take any opportunity or look for any opportunity at this level. So I will just be squeezed from this consolidation. So again, this is just giving you ideas that trading is simply, you don't have to force any trade. Okay? Trading is simply based on probability and possibilities, but you have to know where you want to trade in terms of that confirmation. So, dyan magmamatter yung inyong system rules. At the same time, dyan magmamatter if you know well what you are looking for and you know well what certain conditions you want the market to satisfy before taking any action or execution. Alright? So again, this is just giving overview saan ako magte-trade. And at the same time, kung makikita nyo, di ba, pwede na kayo magdagdag ng other confluences such as yung inyong market sessions. Okay? So ngayon, kung makikita nyo, di ba? Okay? So, the reason, sinasabi ko na you don't want to take any trade as of now because market is still sitting saan? Sa inyong Tokyo session or Asian session. So, again, there can be a possible breakout provided ongoing ang inyong London session and then US session. So, kung makita nyo, di ba, possible mag-align yung aking areas of opportunity saan? Sa overlap ng US at London. Kaya, it is a good opportunity na makita nyo muna yung possible areas before you dive into the trade. So, kaya, dyan magmamatter saang session kayo nag-trade. So, kung makita nyo, market is on the Asian session, possibly, they will have a breakout dito sa London and overlap with New York. So, the areas of opportunities around this area, okay, as a buyer or sell. Kasi possible magkaroon ng strong impulse going up, correction, okay, strong impulse down, going up, okay, going down. Okay, so ibig sabihin yan, dyan ko na i-align ibang mga confluences na pwede kong gamitin para mas tumaas pa yung probability of winning. Okay, so I hope you get the point. Don't be confused sa mga trend lines, support resistance. This is just me plotting out ano yung mga key levels para mas makita ko if I'm satisfying yung rules. Okay, so again, nakita nyo naman how I dissect from a higher time frame down and look for opportunities. Alright? So, yeah. So again, this is just a simple market outlook on where the market would be going, short-term or long-term. So, tandaan nyo, I don't predict the market. I'm just being reactive on where is my area of high probability trade zone. Alright? So, again, this is just a simple video on showing you that there are multiple opportunities just on a single currency pair. So, again, you don't have to trade in terms of volume, like number of trades to find opportunities. It is all about knowing ano ba yung ino-offer sa inyo market and use that as an opportunity later on. Okay, so it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but it can be after an hour, after 4 hours. So again, long-term, short-term, there is always opportunities, even on a single currency pair, right? So that will be it for today. Thank you so much to all of you guys. Thank you so much to all my TFE VIP champion students all over the globe, subscribers, followers, and to all of my supporters. Alright? So again, God bless you all on the next videos. Bye-bye.
So I just want to inform and announce that our TFE VIP champion student private Discord community is already up. And yeah, here we have several channels wherein we share our technical trading ideas among each other. And of course, we also have our weekly trade ideas para sa ating mga weekly forecast para sa mga currency pairs and some announcement section. And of course, since tayo ay global, of course, we have other students as well na galing sa mga ibang bansa overseas. So, here we introduce ourselves and introduce kung saan tayo galing, sa bansa tayo ngayon, OFW man o hindi. But nevertheless, this is a healthy community para mag-share ng mga trading ideas para sa inyo guys. And hopefully, I will be putting up a server publicly para sa mga baguhan naman and those mga followers and subscribers natin. Alright? So yeah, this is just a minor announcement, and hopefully guys, you can join us and make this community grow, lalo na sa ating mga estudyante nag-aaral. Alright guys, so mga baguhan pa lang. But nevertheless, everyone here wants to learn, wants to make profit from the market. But as much as possible, we're all equal in the eyes of the market. Alright guys, so that would be it. So yun lang, and thank you very much. Alright, bye-bye.